trust issue is a big part of this debate. A lot of you weighing in on that, in fact. Brian J. Conway says, when all is said and done, you can be sane today and nuts tomorrow. There is no concrete answer. I, however, will not be left defenseless against these lunatics. When seconds count, the police are minutes away. Lady Griffin says, you cannot protect everyone from everyone else. People need to learn how to protect themselves. Interesting points, and a man who would agree that people need to learn how to protect themselves is Rob Pincus. He is the author. He is also a professional trainer and owner of i.c.e, or do you call it ICE, Rob, training?
i.c.e training company.
Okay, good to have you here. So what is your argument would be that we have a right to own guns, we have a right to use them, but with that comes a responsibility, I guess, and people should learn how to use them properly?
Absolutely. We absolutely have a need that we've identified. We've been talking a lot this show about the mental health issues, about the fact that guns will get into the hands of people who will be evil, people who will commit violent acts. What we have is a right to self-defense, and in fact, I think we have a responsibility to be capable of defending ourselves, defending our family, and of course, ultimately, if necessary, defending our country. Firearms play a role, and that means responsible ownership and education with firearms also play a role.
So would you introduce some sort of legislation then, Rob, which, along with buying your weapons, you also had to go through a training program? Would that be a good way to go here?
No, I don't think any legislative action requiring a level of training is the way to go. I think it should be a natural, obvious fact to anyone who's going to own a firearm and who intends to use the firearm to defend themselves or even have it staged in their home to secure it properly, to control it, to understand how to use it safely and efficiently. And really, that's the community discussion.
Left out of the conversation far too often. There are a number, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of responsible firearms owners. Every year we go out and seek training to be responsible firearms owners. And I think if that were talked about more in the media, we'd have less extremist action and less concern about the number of guns that are actually out there very safely and responsibly owned.
Rob, are you a proponent of the idea expressed by Wayne LaPierre, among others, that more guns make us safer?
I think more people that are capable of defending themselves, more people who are ready to defend themselves, that makes us safer because it deters crime. It deters actions like we saw at the school at Sandy Hook, where someone came into an area that they knew was unprotected, that they believed there was nothing but victims, and they committed violent, evil acts.
Rob, what about the idea of these large magazine clips? If you are defending yourself in your home, do you really need a semi-automatic? Isn't, as Vice President Biden said, aren't you actually more effective with a shotgun in most cases?
You're going to be effective with whatever you train with. So if you train more with a shotgun than you do with a rifle, you'll probably be better able to protect yourself with that shotgun.
But what's important here is the idea of need. Not very far from where I'm sitting, within 20 miles of here, a very upscale neighborhood outside of Columbus, Ohio, we recently had a multiple-person home invasion. Multiple people came into the home of an elderly couple and committed violence against them. In many situations that I can imagine, the need for high-capacity magazines, the need for more than 6 or 7 or 8 or even 10 rounds absolutely is a reality. Luckily, those things are incredibly rare. But also, luckily, in this country, we have the right to be prepared for those situations and to use those high-capacity magazines for competition shooting, for sport shooting, and for the training in preparation for personal defense in that worst-case scenario. So it's not the idea that everyone is going to need one of those high-capacity magazines every day, but the reality is we could need that tomorrow.
Rob, what laws would you support? What changes, if indeed any? Do you believe that there should be mandatory background checks at gun shows, etc.?
I think the situation we have to realize is that we have so many laws on the books right now that aren't enforced uniformly across the country. Every state deals with the issue of gun control differently. Even some cities deal with the issues of gun control differently. What I would be in favor of is a much more standardized process that meets the needs of responsible firearms owners to be able to have access to firearms, to be able to get the training, to be able to practice, to be able to get the ammunition, to be able to have as many rounds as they deem appropriate in their firearm, and to own the type of firearm that they deem is appropriate for not only the personal defense issues, but also the recreational and hunting issues that we also want to deal with inside of our community. I don't think the issue of increasing restrictions is really important. I think what the issue is uniformly enforcing the laws that we have on the books today.
All right, Rob Pincus, author and professional trainer and owner of i.c.e. Training. If our viewers are interested in the kind of work you do, they can find you at icetraining.us on the web. Rob, is that correct?
i.c.e.training.us, and if people want to get a glimpse of the type of information we're putting out and the education that responsible firearms are getting, they can also take a look at personaldefensenetwork.com.
All right, Rob, very good to talk to you. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you.